Hey guys, you might be wondering, why did I receive a cleat with a piece of line in the mail? On a lot of our liveaboard sailing courses, and we're excited that you're about to come on your course, a lot of folks show up and they're nervous about the knots. So we thought we would send you this so that you can practice the 6 most common knots that we're going to teach you during the course that you're going to want to know, just so you can get a jump start on things. The first knot we're going to look at is the figure 8 stopper knot, and it basically prevents a line from going through a block. So we're going to practice. You can run your line through the cleat hitch, and we're going to go ahead and do a figure 8. So what you'll want to do is make the shape of the 8 like this. So you can see there's our 8, and then come all the way back around and through the top. And when you pull it, you should have a really nice 8 that shows up. That's our figure 8 stopper knot. You got to be really careful with this one. The figure 8, sometimes folks just go around and through. If you look carefully, that is not a figure 8. The next knot we're going to do is one of the most useful knots on a boat. It is the bowline, which is a super secure knot used for towing a dinghy or tying your jib sheets to the clew of the jib. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the tail on the right, we're going to have the loaded or the long end on the left, and we're going to make a little notch that faces towards the tail. When you have this notch, you then want to twist it up so that this line is on the top. See how that line is on top like that? So there's our little notch. I'm going to pinch my little loop. I've got my loop now. And now I'm going to go down through the hole. Really important here, we're going to come over. See how we're going over? We're not going under. We're going over the top, and then we're coming back up through this loop. And then when I tighten it down, you can see there's my bowline, a really nice tidy knot, and the tail should end up inside. What's neat about this knot is you can load it up, and then when you want to release it, we do what's called breaking its neck. You just release that, and you can pull it out. Next, let's go ahead and do the clove hitch. The clove hitch is used for hanging lines. It's not a super secure knot, so that's what we use it for. But the easiest way to think about this one is if you do it around a bar like this, start with an X and then keep coming around, and then this side you're going to tuck underneath back through there. So notice we went over, we made an X, we follow it all the way around, and then we come back under and we tighten it, and a proper clove hitch should have one line over the top, one line coming out this way, and one line coming out this way. That's a proper clove hitch. The next one we want to look at is one of our favorite knots. It's called the round turn and 2 half hitches. And what's really cool about this one is we use it for tying up a dinghy, for tying on fenders. It's a really secure knot, easy to do. So usually you'll be tying up a fender like around a stanchion, or you'll be tying up a dinghy around a dock post. So we're going to pretend that this is a post, a vertical post, maybe something like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to do your round turn. So you go all the way around like that. There's your round turn. And when we have our round turn now, the first time I'm going to go over the top of this line. And you can see how I've got a little triangle here. I'm going to bring this line back through the triangle like this. And now I'm going to tighten it up. There's my first half hitch. And now the next time I'm going to go under. So the first time I went over, the next time I'm going to go under and back through this little loop I created. And a proper clove hitch looks like this. And to make a really tidy round turn and 2 half hitches, you guys can see how nice and tidy that is. If you go over the first time and under the second time, it just kind of cleans it up and makes this really nice looking round turn and 2 half hitches. So the next one we're going to do is called the reef knot or the square knot. And the reef knot was called the reef knot because originally you would pass pieces of line around the boom and you tie down your excess mainsail to the boom. And so we're just going to go through, pretend that the cleat is our boom. We're going to go all the way around. I'm going to go right over left, kind of like I'm starting a shoelace knot. But then the second time I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to go left over right. And when I pull it tight, it should look like this. You'll notice that these 2 lines go under that loop, and over here, these 2 lines come out the top. So that is a proper reef knot or a square knot. Another way to do this one is you can make a loop like this and go down all the way around and back up through. That's another great way of doing the reef knot or the square knot. So the last knot we're going to do is the whole reason we sent you this little cleat. This is one of the most misunderstood knots, and many boaters really struggle with doing a proper cleat hitch. Let's imagine if this line is coming in from here, you always want the line coming in to touch the far end of the cleat. This would be the closer end of the cleat. We want it to go to the far end of the cleat, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around. Don't do a full circle or it's going to pinch there. So right before the full circle, we come over, around, and at this point, a secret to do this is go ahead and make the shape of the cleat. See how our line is kind of following the shape of the cleat? And right now, we want to figure out what way, this is going to be our top line, how do we need to twist this to get this line underneath and then tighten? And a proper cleat hitch should have one line over the top and two lines underneath. That's a proper cleat hitch.